The United States did not accidentally stumble into permanent war. It built an industry that requires it. And once war becomes a business, the question is no longer if we fight, but who gets paid when we do. People hear the word fascism and picture goose-stepping, brown shirts, and dictators screaming from balconies. That's the cartoon version. Historically, fascism is something far more mundane and far more dangerous. It's what happens when state power and private industry fuse, when profit, nationalism, and permanent mobilization become indistinguishable. And nowhere in American life does that resemble reality more closely than the U.S. defense industry. The defense industry is not a free market. It is anything but. Defense contractors don't compete for customers. The customer is the state. Demand is guaranteed. Risk is socialized. Profit is privatized. Cost plus contracts ensure companies make money whether the weapons work, fail, or even used. That's not capitalism. That's administered corporatism. And it requires one thing to survive: endless war. In a healthy society, war is an emergency. In this system, war is a business model. There is no condition for victory, only readiness. No peace dividend, only new threats. Enemies don't disappear, they're renamed. That's not defense. That's permanent mobilization, the beating heart of every fascistic system in history. Democratic control is supposed to restrain this. But Congress doesn't meaningfully declare war anymore. Conflicts are rebranded as operations. Authorizations never expire. Budgets are classified. Oversight committees are stocked with politicians funded by the very companies they're meant to regulate. Elections still happen, but they no longer control the sword. And like all fascistic systems, the economics are wrapped in moral language. Weapons aren't sold for profit. They're sold to defend democracy. Wars aren't fought for leverage. They're fought for security. Criticism isn't debated. It's dismissed as naive, or worse, as being unpatriotic. The moral fog is essential. It keeps the public from asking the one forbidden question: who benefits? Entire regions now depend on weapons manufacturing. Universities align research to military funding. Engineers build missiles instead of bridges. Communities become economically hostage to militarism. And once livelihoods depend on war, opposition collapses. And here's the most disturbing part. No one has to plan this. The system identifies threats, profits from those threats, uses profit to lobby for continued threat perception. It's a closed loop, self-justifying, self-perpetuating. That's how fascism actually works. Not with marching crowds, but with spreadsheets, contracts, and national security briefings. This doesn't mean America is a fascist state. Well, at least not yet. It means a core pillar of American power operates on fascistic logic, while the rest of society pretends not to notice. You know, fascism doesn't usually arrive waving flags. Sometimes it shows up as a line item, or a lobbyist, or a contract that can't be canceled. By the time anyone notices, the country no longer decides when to go to war. The balance sheet does. You know, Many of the same people screaming fascism at the current president cheer, fund, and defend a system that already fuses state power with private force. They don't oppose fascism. They just oppose who's holding the microphone. We need to transcend this. There is an alternative. Join the consciousness revolution.